Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with over 300,000 people beneath Rio's humid night sky, heart pounding as Ozzy Osbourne walks out bathed in neon. Tonight, we crack open the legendary night when Latin America first stared down heavy metal's wildest icon. Crack open Latin America's boldest secrets, fact-checked, footnoted, and irresistible. I'm Arturo, and this is Latin Lora, Crónicas y Curiosidades. From Latin America's history to mysteries and true crime to local legends whispering Latin intrigue, every tale is triple verified in archives before it reaches your headphones. Hit subscribe. Fresh revelations drop every week, ready for your next campfire debate. Ozzy Osbourne, a voice that shook steel towns and stadiums alike, fell silent on July 22, 2025 at 76. Newspapers called him everything from the godfather of heavy metal to the people's prince of darkness, a man whose mere survival seemed miraculous after a lifetime courting chaos. But long before Ozzy became the lovable rogue of reality TV, his legend was forged on far-flung stages, where his howl announced metal to new continents. And one unforgettable night in January 1985, Latin America had its first explosive encounter with the Prince of Darkness. It was Rio de Janeiro at the groundbreaking Rock in Rio festival. Picture Brazil, 1985, a nation poised between military repression and newfound democracy. For 2 decades, the generals had muzzled music, labeling it dangerous and subversive. But as that regime began to crumble, Rock in Rio emerged as both a musical celebration and a daring political statement. Heavy metal, as sociologists like Heidelberg Avelar tell us, was always a voice of working-class rebellion in Brazil, often mistrusted by authorities. But on this sweltering January night, Ozzy's landing was like a lightning bolt hitting an open nerve. It was electric, symbolic, a scream of liberation. When Ozzy stepped onto Brazilian soil for the first time, the air itself felt charged. Fans had waited for months, radios blasting Crazy Train, but never before had they witnessed the legend in the flesh. For many, Ozzy was myth, known only through contraband cassettes traded secretly among teenagers hungry for rebellion. That night, the myth became flesh, roaring across the Cidade do Rock. His band, Jakey Lee shredding on guitar, Bob Daisley thundering on bass, Tommy Aldridge pounding drums, and Don Airey orchestrating epic keyboards, delivered a blistering set designed specifically for Rio's colossal stage. From Mr. Crowley to Iron Man, every riff sliced through the tropical heat, the music vibrating through hundreds of thousands gathered in awe. The festival grounds overflowed, pulling in roughly 300,000 fans just for Ozzy's set, one of the largest crowds ever assembled for a single metal act in Latin America. Millions more watched live on Rede Globo, mesmerized as festival lights turned the ocean of faces into an illuminated sea. Ozzy himself later described it as staring into a living beast, pulsating with energy and raw emotion. But beyond the spectacle, that night meant something deeper. Scholars talk about Rock in Rio as a moment when Brazilian youth found their voice through music, asserting their right to join a global movement. Anthropologist Nelson Varas Dias describes this phenomenon as building imagined communities of distortion, where shared screams became bonds stronger than political slogans. Ozzy wasn't just performing, he was validating an entire generation's dreams and frustrations. His raw authenticity turned into an emblem of resistance, proving heavy metal wasn't just noise, it was a call to freedom. Bands like Metallica, Slayer, and Brazil's own Sepultura emerged in the festival's aftermath, riding the shockwaves Ozzy had sent rippling through Latin America. Fans like Sergio Pinga Silva, who stood in line for 14 hours just to glimpse the stage, recalled it vividly. When Ozzy stepped out, we tasted the future, and it tasted like rust, sweat, and freedom. Fanzines flourished overnight. Youth culture exploded, unstoppable now that censorship had begun to fall away. Economically, Rock in Rio set a new standard for Latin American music festivals, showing the world Brazil could host mega events on par with North America and Europe. Madonna, Prince, and later Beyoncé followed in Ozzy's footsteps, transforming Rio into an essential stop on global tours. Musically, Ozzy's performance marked the shift from heavy blues to the explosive virtuosity of guitar heroes. Jakey Lee's blistering solos sparked thousands of aspiring musicians across the continent, shaping the sound and direction of Latin American metal for decades. When Ozzy returned to Brazil 10 years later, ticket prices had skyrocketed, but sold out instantly. His legacy, ignited at Rock in Rio, blazed brightly, leading to spin-offs like Ozfest in Mexico, Argentina, and Chile. That January night in 1985, Ozzy Osbourne transcended music, becoming the symbol of an era, a living testament to what music can mean for a society in transition. As fans today light candles in his honor along Ipanema's shores, they don't mourn just a singer. They celebrate a night when Ozzy became the voice of their liberation, proof that sometimes music is the loudest rebellion. Gracias, curiosos de la historia. Thanks for trekking the hidden trails of Latin America with me. If you uncovered a new clue today, like, share, and hit subscribe so you never miss the next mystery. Drop your theories below, and until then, keep the legends alive and the facts on fire. Nos vemos en la próxima crónica.